Hey guys, welcome back to My Kitchen Name. It's me, Ella. Today is a Monday. I don't know what the date is. It's Monday. 24th, I think, of March. Anyways, this is my market recap from this past Saturday. I was going to do this yesterday, and then I didn't have the time to. I always forget how hard it is to recover from a market. Like, putting things away and organizing things, and then getting the house back to where it's supposed to be. So, yesterday was a crazy day of doing all that. But anyways, I'm here to update you on my market. So this was my first market in 2025. It was a spring one, obviously, because it's springtime. It was at a tulip farm. There were vendors, food trucks, bounce houses, Easter bunny, Easter egg hunts, flower picking, and giveaways. I think that's sums up most of it. But yeah, so let's get into all the details. I always try to do the numbers up front so people who aren't interested in all the rest of the jabber can see the numbers and split. So okay, the booth fee for this was $50, but I paid it back in January, and like I say in most of my videos, my booth fees and all of my material costs come out of the months that I bought them. So my January booth fee does not come out of the money I made at the market. It came out of my January business earnings. It was included in my business expenses back in January, so that's already been dealt with. And all my materials, all the yarn, stuffing, fiberfill, safety eyes, bags that I bought that I give people, business cards, anything that I purchase, if I didn't buy it in March 2025, it doesn't get factored in to my March markets. It got factored into all my profits from the months that they were purchased in. Okay? I'm just saying that because I almost always get comments of people saying, well, it's not your actual profit if you don't deduct your material costs. It's because I already deducted my material costs out of my YouTube, Etsy, and market money from other months. That's how I do it. That's just how I run my business, okay? So all the stuff that I make things out of has already been paid for out of money I already earned the months that I purchased these. That's just how I do my receipts. So I keep track of all my tax information. So I will not be deducting my material costs or my booth fee because they were paid already. Anyways, if I had bought something, like I believe I did buy 2 balls of white Bernat, white blanket yarn, what am I saying? White Bernat blanket yarn in March, but those will come out of all my markets together, plus my YouTube money, plus my Etsy money, will be my gross profit for No Kitchen Name, minus all my expenses, which will be any materials I bought, any, work-related things like tripods and display pieces, any shipping and all that stuff, minus all that, will equal the net. That's just how I do it. Okay, anyways, yeah, I know we also had a little budget of what we could spend that was separate money too. So I did buy some things at the market, but it's not coming out of my profit because it was money that was already put aside for buying stuff with. Okay, so now we're caught up on that part. So I took 203 items. I sold 54 of them. So I sold 26% of my inventory. And I took the items I took, it was $2,123 worth of product. And I sold $647 worth. So I sold 30% of my inventory financially. Out of that 647, 221 was on the card, and 426 was cash sales. And my only fee that's coming out of this market is $6.96, which was my square fees, which this is the last market where they're lower because at the end of this month they go up, which is fine. I get it. It's a business thing. I make money, whatever. So my total profit for this market was $640.04. So I thought that was really great. I was really nervous because we went to set up the night before, Friday, to put up our tent and tables and stuff, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. Like I was, I knew it was a farm, so it's gonna be out there, but it was way out there. And so I was a little nervous. I was like, gosh, is people gonna come? And also there was the parking looked difficult. But, so I was really nervous that it was gonna be a bust. But we set up, and then we went home, and the next morning we took June to my sister's. Jessie was already there. We stopped and got ice for our cooler, and we went there, and we set up. We always set up pretty quick. When me and Devin both doing it, it goes by pretty fast. And here we have a setup memorized. So we just kind of, we work together and get it all set up really quick. So I was able to get out and walk around, look at the other vendors. There were about maybe 10 vendors. And I just looked around. They were mostly boutique-y type vendors, so they had like boutique-y kid clothes for Easter. There was a lot of sublimation shirts. There was one of those hat and bag where you put patches and pins on it. There was a permanent jewelry lady. There was a glassworks lady. One lady had sublimation shirts, hair bows for girls, like a million of them. Tumblers, things like that. And there was the lady behind us was she had shirts and like house decoration type things. The lady in front of us was a kids boutique with really cute little Easter clothes and little accessories and things. The hat bar, I think that's what they're called, was beside us, and then this way was the girl with all the bows. She had like a million bows. I wish June wore bows in her hair because I would totally buy those. They're so cute. And there was a lemonade truck, a food truck, a little donut truck. I think that was all the food. And then there was us. So at the first hour was really slow, and I was really worried because like nobody was there. And you know, it's just, I get nervous in the beginning of markets because they always kind of go very slowly. But then it started picking up, and it picked up, and it actually ended up being really good. You know, I made almost $650, which I think that's really good because my average for little markets is usually like around 300. And this one I was a little worried it was going to be a little market, but it turned out to be a pretty good market. There was a lot of people, a lot of families with kids, a lot of couples, really cute. They were out picking flowers, and it was just cute seeing it all. A lot of people with little babies, a lot of pregnant women, so it's a lot of, you know, it's very springy with fresh babies and pregnant ladies. Lots of kids running around, so that was good for me, you know, because I kind of am geared towards kids. Yeah, so we had a lot of great interactions with people, talking and chatting. And Devin made a friend who's another music guy. He was wearing a face mask that said Creed, which is a band. And Devin was wearing a Slipknot hoodie. So that's what got them talking to each other. And then they were talking about all kinds of bands and local bands and all kinds of stuff like that. So they ended up exchanging like contact information and are friends now, I guess. But yeah, they had porta potties there, which I absolutely hate porta potties. But these ones were not nearly as bad as the 4th of July ones. But that market was huge. So there was thousands of people at that. This one was a big market, but it wasn't quite that big, so it wasn't quite as horrible. Plus it was daytime. That 4th of July market was dark, and porta potties don't have lights in them, so it was horrible. But yeah, anyways. It was really cute. I wanted to pick some tulips, but they weren't all the way bloomed, and really the only ones that were bloomed were red. There were some purple and some yellow, but I really wanted just yellow ones and pink ones, and they weren't all bloomed yet. They said that day that they were about 25% bloomed, and that by this next weekend, the 29th, they should be around 100% bloomed. So I don't know, we might go back and pick some flowers. But yeah, so we had a lot of fun. You know, sales were pretty steady after the first couple hours, and I wrote everything down. I tried to track it on my square, but I did miss some because sometimes it's just a hustle, you know. But we did do good at writing them down. After I started it, Devin ended up being the one that wrote everything down while I was doing the transactions. So the first thing I sold was a small spider. I'm going to try to pop up pictures. I did take pictures of everything, so I'm going to try to pop them up, and I might try to put the patterns down in the description box, but it may take me a while. So you may see the video and it may not have those down there, but they will be down there at some point. So I sold a small spider and one of my chickens. I don't usually make chickens, but I made 2 this time, and they both sold this market. So I sold chicken, and then I sold a mini octo, and then I finally sold the big yellow crayon. A little girl bought him. She was probably like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, and she wanted it. I sold a jumbo turtle, another little spider. Then I sold a little love cat, the smaller ones. Where am I? And then I sold a dragon, my first dragon. And then I sold another turtle. Turtles always do pretty good. And then I sold one of the little chickens on a nest. A little chick that's just like a round yellow chick. And then the other chicken. So I sold the 2 chickens pretty early on. And then someone seen someone walk around with the chicken, and they came back to ask if I had any more chickens. And I didn't. I only made 2. And I told Devin, I was like, I should have made more chickens. But normally I don't have good luck with chickens. But this market would have been good for that, I guess. Then I sold a banana to a little boy. Next to axolotl, then a mushroom boy. They were smaller this time, but they did pretty good. I had 4 of them and 3 sold this market. Then I sold another spider. The spiders always do good. Kids like the spiders, the little ones. Then I sold another mushroom boy. And then the little chicken with a frog hat that I made, and it turned out tiny, and I didn't want to make any more, so I just put $5 on it. I sold that. I sold a medium turtle, which was made out of different yarn, so it came out a little bit smaller. I sold 1 tulip. A lot of people like the tulips, especially little girls, but they ended up picking cute little animals instead, which I get, you know. Then I sold another dragon. Then I sold another turtle. And another axolotl. And then I sold a duck. It's a rubber ducky. I made 3 of them. All 3 of them sold this market. I sold one of my little pigs, which is my own pattern, which is cool. Then another axolotl. And then another rubber ducky. And then another small octo. I usually sell a lot of those because they're cheap. And then I sold 2 dragons in one transaction to 2 teenage girls. It was really cute. They picked out 2 of them. The dragons, actually, I took 5 and I sold all but 1. And I would have sold that one if I had another one, because it was a brother and a sister who wanted them. They both wanted the dragon and only had 1 left. So the mom took my business card and she said that she's going to email me. I don't know if she will. To get 2 made. So then I sold a mouse, and it was my own pattern, so it's always fun. I had 2 of those and I sold both of them. Then I sold a brontosaurus. Next a tofu turtle. And then 2 mini octos. The 3rd mushroom boy. And the big flower that I made, the big sitting up flower. A young couple bought them. They were looking at the flower, and then she was looking at the shark as well, and they were talking. And from what I overheard, she maybe didn't want to get the flower because it was more expensive. So the boyfriend, they were young. I don't know if they were teenagers or maybe super early 20s, but he looked like a cowboy. He had like a belt and the boots and everything. He walked over there and he got it, and he got the money out and just gave it to me. And it was so cute because she was like, oh, you know, blushing and stuff. And it was just cute. It was cute. I love those interactions like that. Let's see. Then I sold 2 more mini octos. The last rubber ducky sold. Another spider sold. I didn't sell any of the big spiders this market, but I sold 5 or 6 of the little ones. And then the second banana sold, so both the bananas went. People like the bananas. It's funny. And then I sold one of my leggy bunnies. I had those for a while, so I sold one. It's the white one. Sold another brontosaurus. And then the second mouse, that was my pattern. 2 more mini octos. They seem to go in pairs. The last brontosaurus sold. I always sell the brontosauruses. I highly suggest taking dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are popular. I sold another spider. I sold another one of the little chickens on a nest. I think I sold 2 of those. Then I sold 1 snake. I only sold 1 snake this time. They got a lot of attention, but kids were just picking other things, you know. Then I sold one of my bigger googly eye monsters. That's my own pattern. I just made it, you know. I have the little one as a tutorial, but the bigger ones were I just made them one day. I had scrap balls of blanket yarn, so they're slightly different than the little ones. But I sold one of them. I think it was the orange one. It might have been the purple one. I don't know. Then I sold a horny toad. I was super excited about that. I was really hoping they'd sell. The girl who bought it, she was looking at stuff and talking about buying things, and then she saw it and she freaked out because the college she went to, the mascot was the horned lizards and horny toads. You know, that's what most people will call them. So she bought it, and she bought an eagle as well. So I had 2 eagles left over from that Christmas market I did last year, and the eagle was the last thing I sold. So yeah. People started breaking down. We were supposed to break down at 5, but a lot of the other vendors started breaking down at 4, and we stayed. And because we stayed, we made 20, 30, 40, 50, 65 more dollars. Because between 4 and 5, we sold the snake, the googly eye monster, the horny toad, and that lizard. So I always stay. I always tell Devin, because he's usually the one with me, that I'm going to stay until the cutoff time. 1, because it's respectful to the vendor, the host. You know, they say don't break down until 5. You need to stay till 5 because it's in the contract, you know. And also it's because you never know if the other vendors might come around to buy something, or scraggly people who are, you know, late to the event. Because a lot of the people who bought from me lastly were the people who were still there after the egg hunts. So I always try to hang out and wait. Sometimes, you know, you just waste hours sitting there. But like this time I made $65 just waiting to break down. And then we broke down, we packed up. It was very difficult because now we have a different car than the truck. But we got it all in there, and I have to figure out a new system for packing my things, It needs to all be in soft containers because the big tote ain't gonna work anymore since we don't have a truck bed to put it on. So, yeah. Anyways, it was a really good market. 10 out of 10 would do again. And if they had a different type of market, I would probably look into doing it, especially if it was in the season of bloom. Tulips don't really bloom for long though, so I guess they only open in the spring. I don't know. But if they ever do other events, I might look into checking it out, because this one, you know, we were there for about 7 hours, a little bit more because of setup and teardown, and I made almost $650. I thought that was pretty good. So I did sell a big hunk of things. I do have a list on my phone of things I need to make. I want to make more chickens, more axolotls, brontosauruses. I want to try to find a T-Rex pattern that's not heavy on the sewing, but I want it to be kind of a good size. So I'll have to look around, just try a few different ones, you know. There's a bunch of birds outside tweeting. There's some other things on my list I can't remember. Bananas, some other things. But yeah, I really liked it. It was super windy. I forgot to mention that. The weather was beautiful. It was a nice warm day, but it was very windy, like in random gusts. We were saved because the people behind us had a sidewall. We only lost a few amigurumis falling and getting dirty. I would clean them with a baby wipe and let them set until they dried and then put them back up there. My big wire rack, like this one, but white, fell once, but it fell and hit me, so it didn't fall apart, thankfully. So I was able to put it back and pick up stuff. But boy, everybody around us, t-shirts were flying everywhere. And the woman with the bows, I felt so bad for her, because she had like 6 big stand-up displays of thousands of bows, and they just kept falling with the wind. But luckily, people are nice, so people would run over there, shoppers and other vendors, and help her pick it all up, you know. So, but I heard the woman behind us, a shelf fell and broke. I heard her talk about it. And I heard the tumblers at one point fell, because, you know, they make a noise when they fall. I hope they didn't get damaged. But we were on grass, so maybe it wasn't too bad. But just every now and then, it would just, a big gust of wind would come and everything would be moving. Luckily, I brought the cinder blocks anyways, because I don't ever just trust sticking it in the ground. So our tent didn't move at all. This is the first time we used our new tent. It was great. I love it way more than the blue one. It's so much easier to put up and take down, and it's so much bigger. Because the slanted like ones, you don't get a full 10 by 10 square, because the slant is calculated into that. But this new one has straight legs, and it seems huge. It's 10 by 10, but it seems so much bigger. And it's taller than the little blue one. I just love it. I'm so glad I bought that. And it was only like $30 more than the blue one. Had I known how much better it was when I first started, I would have just bought one of those instead of the cheaper one. But you live and you learn. So yeah, I thought it was great. It was a beautiful day. Nothing crazy happened. I don't think anything got stolen, because we're really good at watching stuff like that. I have it, my inventory stacked up over here. I gotta go back through it and make sure nothing's dirty, because some stuff did fall, and I gotta recount everything just to make sure nothing did get stolen. And it's not a big deal if it did, you know. Just make sure my inventory sheets are updated, so that now I can start working for my next market, which is in about 27 days, something like that. 26 days. It is on April 19th, which is right before Easter, which is, I'm a little nervous about that, because people might already have plans that weekend. But I'm gonna, if I don't have surgery by then, I'm gonna go and see what happens. Because even if I make just the buffet back, I'll be happy with that. That one's buffet was a little bit cheaper, I think. Hold on, I got all my paperwork right here. So this is the market that we just went. I always print out the flyer, so I have all the information for people if I'm telling them. And I always print out any communication I have with a vendor, host, and I highlight important information like dates and times. And I always print out my invoices from where I paid the fee. And I take all that stuff with me just in case there's ever any issue. Alright, so my next vendor is this one. This is it's in my county, but it's in a township that's not mine. It's a little over from us. It's a smaller area. I did it last year. I made like $360, I think. It's only a 5-hour event, which is nice. Yeah, I paid $45 for an outdoor booth, so hopefully it doesn't rain. And I think they got more vendors this year than they did last year. Last year was the first time they did it, and there was only like 4 of us. And I was the only one. It was me, 2 jewelry ladies, a food guy with like snacks, and the hat bar lady. So that's 5 people. And then there was a food truck outside. But this year, the way she's been talking is there more vendors and more food trucks. So I opted for an outside booth this time, because there's another crocheter. I don't know if she's an inside booth or outside booth, but I like having my outside, the tent, and more space. It just seems like more space when you're outside. I don't know. I like being able to hang things and stuff. So we'll see if I do good. Last year the fee for that was only $30 and it went up to $45. The indoor fee was $60, and I paid this back in December, so that has already been paid for in last year's taxes, and you know, what am I trying to say? Not taxes, but you know, books. So that's way already been paid for. And this is a market I'm going to do later this year. I did this one last year and it did really well. So they gave us flyers at the market for this year's. They plan to handle it like that. It's hosted by school, and I got her contact information on there so that I can contact her. I still haven't heard back from the 4th of July market. They were supposed to email me a few weeks ago. I guess they're running behind, but it's okay. As long as I get in there, I'm happy. Alright, I think that's everything. I did want to show you what I bought. So from the Glassworks lady, I 100% knew I was going to buy from her because I absolutely love glasswork things. I bought this. It's to hang in a window. It's dandelions. It's just a pretty glass. It's green. I don't know if you can see it good. And then I bought this cup. I have to have this because daffodils is one of my favorite flowers. It's just a cool cup. Came with a straw. I haven't washed it yet. I gotta wash it and then I'm gonna use it. But it's just so pretty. She had a bunch of these, and she had so many window hanging things and little display things. I would have bought all of them if I was rich. And then we did buy June a little dress. So we got her this cute little dress. This would be her little Easter outfit. I thought this one was cute because it's not necessarily just Easter, because it's got bunnies on it, but they don't have like eggs and stuff. So it's just pretty, so she could wear it other than Easter as well. And I think because the size of it, I think she'll probably be able to wear it next year too. Because little kids don't grow a whole lot. She'll get taller, but this will be about calf length on her right now. So if it's a little shorter on her next year, she can still wear it, you know. But it's so cute. They never have anything for little boys. They didn't have any like 3D printer booths or anything, or I would have bought something like that for Jesse. So I did end up just giving him some money to spend on one of his video games that he plays, because I don't like buying one something without buying the other one something. But yeah, anyways, that's what we did. Also, the boutique had these cute pink bags with handles. I want some of these. I'm gonna have to try to find these bags. I should have asked her where Devin went and got the dress. We were eyeing it the whole time, and then there was two ladies. They kept picking it up and holding it up to their little kid and put it back, and then they'd go around and they'd do it again. And I was like, I told Devin, I was like, if they don't buy that, go get that, because I wanted that dress for June. Well, I told him if it's 3 to 4T to get that, and it is a 3 4T. So he went and bought it for me. But if I thought about it, I'd asked her where she got her bags, because they're pink, which is my aesthetic now. I'm trying to switch everything over to pink. For my shirt was pink yesterday. Day with my logo on it. I got the new pink tablecloths, my pink money box, which I loved at first because I really wanted a money apron. I was going to make myself one and I never did. And I got this just on a whim one day. I'm going to get my sister to make me some vinyl stuff to put on it that says like no catchy name crochet and then something down here. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it written this way, no catchy name crochet, and then I might put like the square symbol, Visa, you know, those things, and cash, so that when it's open people can see that I take all those. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, at first I thought, because I was like, that might be hard to, you know, do, but I ended up loving this. It was great, especially the little things that hold the money down. It was so much easier to grab the change out for people than having to follow through money, you know, being this way. It was just so much easier. I like it a lot. And I also had my square, my phone charger block, power block thing in there. I had zip ties in here because I always take zip ties and tape just in case, you never know. My pen and labels, because some people, when they buy stuff, they take labels off and give back to you, which is really nice. I don't ever ask people to do that though, because my labels are super cheap for me to make. My sister cuts them out on her Cricut for me out of cardstock, so it's like super cheap and easy to make. But I loved it. We never leave the booth both, so there's always someone there to watch the money box. We keep, the way we set up our booth, we have our own little space that the public doesn't come in. So I'm not worried at all about someone grabbing it and running off with it, because it's always right in front of either me or right in front of Devin. So I'm not worried about it. It was fun. I tried alligator. It was horrible. I don't like fish at all, and it tasted like fish. Devin ate it, but the food truck there had all kinds of, it had normal food, chicken strips, tacos, beef hamburgers. But then it had elk, alligator, ostrich, kangaroo, all kinds of meat like that. Camel. And he wanted to try the alligator, and it was horrible. I couldn't even swallow it. I had to spit it out. I'm just not a fish person. I can't eat anything that's been in the water, apparently. It all tastes the same to me, and it tastes gross. I went safe, and I got chicken strips and french fries. Because every time I try to branch out and get something different, I don't like it. So I told Devin, I was like, I'm going safe today. I'm getting something I know I like, so I can actually eat. Because sometimes you try to get something different, and it doesn't taste good, and then you just waste it, you know. I really wanted the lemonade, but I just didn't want to pay $8 for it. I love market lemonade. It's so good, especially on hot days. But I told Devin at the 4th of July market I will buy some of the expensive lemonade. The strawberry lemonade is so good. There's plenty of people walking around with it though. That's a good business to get into if you got the money to get the little food truck. Because everybody's walking around with those lemonade cups in their hands. And they're like $8 each. And probably more expensive for like the real fancy ones. There were some that were blue. I don't know what they were. But yeah. It was a lot of fun. Teardown 10, we'll do it again. We had a lot of fun. Me and Devin always have a lot of fun. We laugh and joke together. It's fun to interact with so many different people. A lot of families similar to us go to events like that, so it's fun to just, you know, interact with them. I love interacting with the kids. There was a little girl that was the kid to the booth person behind us. I will say, I think she was way too small to be running around the market by herself. She was like 5. And I seen her all over the place by herself. And her mom only checked on her like once. And she hung out at her booth 99% of the time that she was there, which is kind of annoying. I sometimes find it annoying when the parents like drop their kids off at my booth and leave. I have that happen a lot. It happened a couple of times at this market. But you know, I'm not gonna be mean to a kid, so I usually just interact with them. Oh, it's in here, but it's locked. And my keys are somewhere. She gave me a little paper. She had a little notepad, and she scribbled because she can't write, I guess. All the things for my booth that she liked, and I kept it. It's in my money box. I'll have to show it in another video. It was so cute. She did buy a little mouse. She bought one of my mice, and she was playing with it the whole time. And she kept asking me about different things, and she loved the tulips. She kept getting a tulip and putting it on her little face. And I was gonna give her one, but they were gone. I don't know where they're at. Their booth was still there, but when we were packing up, and I didn't see her again until we left, you know. So, but anyways, it was cute. I wish people would keep a better eye on their kids, because it only takes a few moments for someone to take an opportunity to kidnap a kid. And in this particular family's case, they wouldn't have noticed their daughter missing until it was too late. Because the whole time we were there for like 7 or 8 hours. She only came over and got her daughter once the whole time. So, I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to hang this up somewhere. I'm going to try to hang it in the living room window, but I don't know. If June will leave it alone, I will. If not, I might have to hang it in here. If I hang it here, I won't get to see it all the time. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm going to clean this and use it. I'm going to put this dress up. She's not going to wear it until the Easter egg hunt, because I don't want it to get stained. But then after our Easter egg hunt, she can wear it whenever she wants to. She loves little dresses. I love these boutique ones because of the material they're made out of. I don't even know what it is. It's like stretchy jersey type material. I don't know if that's what it is though. It's slightly different. It's like a, you know, it's definitely like a polyester. Oh, right here. It's polyester and spandex. But it's real airy. I like it because I don't have to worry about her getting hot. We always do put, usually shorts or pants, like leggings underneath her dresses. I like leggings better because when she plays on playgrounds, she doesn't have to worry about getting so many rubs on like metal equipment and stuff. But I always do try to put shorts on there just so that if she, you know, she's a little girl, so if her dress flies, you know, flies out, her little booty ain't exposed to everybody. But this print is so darling. If she grows out of this and it manages not to get horribly stained, I will probably keep this material and make something out of it. Because it's so cute. Anyways, I could have bought like 50 pieces of clothing for her. If I had the money, I would, because they're all so cute. So that's my market recap. I think I mentioned everything I was supposed to. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I will try to link, like I said, all the patterns down below, and I should have put up pictures. Sometimes I talk too fast, so it's hard. I can only put pictures up for a few seconds. So, yeah. So I got a lot of stuff to make. Let's see here. I completely sold out of the yellow crown was only one. I sold out of bananas. I sold out of chickens. I sold 3 of my 7 jumbo turtles. I thought that was pretty good. I sold the only big jumbo flower I had. I sold out of rubber duckies. I sold out of my mice. I only had 2 of them, and both of them sold. I sold almost all my spiders. I had 10, and I sold 5, so I sold half of my mini spiders. I sold almost all my axolotls. I had 4, and I sold 3. I sold out of dragons almost. I had 5, and I sold 4. And I sold out of chickens. I don't think I didn't mark those. Yeah, it's over here. I sold out of the big chickens by Stacy Makes. And I sold out of brontosauruses. I always sell out of brontosauruses. Make brontosauruses. It's a free pattern on Instagram. It's very easy. I have it pretty much memorized because I've made it so many times. And kids love them. Boys and girls alike love them dinosaurs. I think they love the size of them. And I want to try to find a T-Rex pattern, like I said, and a Stegosaurus pattern. Because the horny toads, a lot of little kids thought that those were dinosaurs. And the parents were just going with it, you know. And a lot of kids almost got the horny toad. But they picked other things, you know. The way they do, they walk around holding something and then they put it back, you know. Which I'm totally fine with. I let them shop. They're kids. They, you know, they'll figure out what they want. They'll go home. They'll be happy. But, so I want to try to find a Stegosaurus pattern. But not like a really detailed one. Because I don't want to have this. I want a bunch of little spikes. But, yeah. So anyways, I got some market prepping to do. I do have a cart full of yarn on Hirschner's Perfect Chunky yarn that I'm going to order either maybe today or Wednesday. There's a lady, I got some stuff on Facebook Marketplace for sale. She says she's going to come this evening or Wednesday evening. She'll let me know because she lives a county over from me. If she does come and buy what she's buying, I'm going to order that yarn. I'm going to wait though. I don't want to order it until I get the money for that. But it's just, it's all Perfect Chunky because it's one of my favorite yarns to work with. Which, I don't know if you've noticed, but all my worsted weight yarn has been moved. Some of it's over here and some of it's put away. I wanted to put all my blanket and yarn that I'm using right here. Because it was all over the house and it was the yarns that I was using. This wall was just worsted weight wall that was sitting there. I don't hardly ever use worsted weight anymore. So I'm actually going to be getting rid of a lot of it to a local yarning person that I know. And I'm going to keep some of it though because there are some things I like to make in worsted. But the amount that I had is just unnecessary. So I'm going to make this my size 5, 6, 7 wall. I still have a bunch of that just Chanel over here and over here because I got gifted a ridiculous amount of it. And I'm just leaving it where it's at. I thought about putting it up here, but I don't want it like falling everywhere. So unless I get some kind of containers to put it in, I'm just going to leave it where it's at for now. But anyways, I'm going to hop off here because it's been 30 minutes. And I'm going to try to get this edited and uploaded sometime today. But I got to put all those pictures in and get all the links and stuff. So it might take a while. But yeah, so that was my market recap. I think I did really good in my first market of the year. $647 is good money to go towards my surgery stuff. So yeah, the next market is in about a month, and I'll do an update on it too. So, and in between now and then, I'll be market prepping. So, I'll see you in all those videos. Bye, guys.